Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Discover Your Roots. I'm your host, Dr. Mueller, and thanks for spending another year with me. It was quite the year, and indeed, we discovered quite a few different things. This is our final episode of this season 3, and I found out when I came in this morning that things are going to be a little different for this show. My staff sort of caught me by surprise, and they came up with a special feature, and I'm pretty excited about this. They somehow think we need to talk about the Mueller clan. You know, I've had a lot of fun finding out about all of you viewers out there. I guess today is the day to learn a little bit about the Mueller clan. We, as always, of course, our great sponsor, Ancestry DNA, we use the same procedures, I understand, at least from the staff, that we have all year long. And I have no idea how they found my DNA someplace. In fact, I don't think I want to know. But I encourage all of you to write that check for $95, stick some of your DNA in a box, send it off, and find all about your family. But today, I hear from my staff that it's going to be all about the Mueller family. So let's see what we have. Well, there's the first thing that they have for us. This is actually, not too surprisingly, it appears that the Muellers are from the Europe area, somewhere out there, and it looks like maybe they've narrowed it down to 4 different areas. I'm not too sure about this, and whoa. Look at that. They did a deep dive into Ancestry, going back 40,000 years, 60,000 years. Pretty interesting. Well, I wonder if what they came up with as the conclusion. Oh, geez. Neander Valley. If I remember right, that's the home of the Neanderthals. The Neanderthals, that was that group who, what happened to them? They were sort of absorbed into the humans or absorbed by the humans. I'm not too sure, but I think obviously something got a little messed up here with the DNA. I don't hardly think that the Muellers have any connection at all to the Neanderthals. What? Oh, you have a, what? Oh, a photo of a Neanderthal woman. Okay, well, good. We certainly can take a look at that. And of course, that hardly looks like a Mueller. Oh, you have my grandmother Zumock. I don't know where you got the photo, but go ahead and put that up. Grandmother Zumock. Well, I guess that sort of proves my point. There's Grandma Zumock certainly doesn't look like a Neanderthal. What? You think she looks like a Neanderthal? Well, come on. I hardly think so. Well, do you have a male Neanderthal perhaps that we could take a peek at? Oh, geez. That indeed is a male Neanderthal. And you know, here exactly is my point. I mean, look at this fellow carefully, and look what you see. You see a guy with a slanting forehead. You see a guy with a bulbous nose. You got a keg-shaped torso, somewhat of a pot belly, and a big old fat thigh. I mean, does that any way at all explain a Mueller? I mean, really? You know, I remember, when was that, that party we had a couple weeks ago? One of you young women were running around with a cell phone, and you snapped a photo photo of me, just for comparison, to illustrate how far off this is from a Mueller. Can you get that photo up there so we can do a comparison? Oh, well, yeah, I do remember that night. Well, at any rate, you can see that Muellers and Neanderthals really are quite different. What? You think I look like him? Really? You're serious about that? That I look like him? No. If that's the way this is going to be, the show's over right now. No, it's over now. This is it. It's over. I don't care what the producer says. You're not. This is not a thing of trying to tie me into some ancient civilization who, by the fact, were Neanderthals. So if that's the way you're going to be, I'm out of here.
He wakes in the dark, early morning and wonders for a moment, was he there? For the dream takes him back without warning. The childhood and learning how to care. Once again, he is home, young and healthy, out working on their North Dakota farm with father.
Well, hello everyone. Butch Miller here. 100 years, huh? Wow, what a deal. You have to wonder if when Herman and Bertha loaded up those goats and geese and their 2 cows and jumped on the train and headed to Ryder, if in their wildest imagination they would have thought that we'd all be gathered 100 years later to celebrate their accomplishment. And of course, it's not just their accomplishment. There's been a lot of Muellers who have followed over the years who have maintained the tradition of keeping this farm going. And of course, there were some Mueller wives who helped out along the way too. I was doing some calculations, and other than Herman and Bernice, I think I probably lived on the farm more than anybody else has in the last 100 years. Bits and pieces of 21 years. Many of those years we lived on the farm for all 12 months. Some years we moved into town for 3 months or so. So I was thinking, wow, where do I start when I have 20 or 21 years to work? I remember my first memory really of the farm was just being scared to death of the cows. One of them looked at me once, and I ran to the house as fast as I could. I guess I was probably 3 or so then. And one of my last memories was when I was about 20 or so, and the parents were out of town, and we threw one heck of a party at the farm. So I got a pretty big window there to choose from. So as you saw from the opening credits, I'm going to focus it down to 1 year. In fact, actually 1 season of the year, the summer of 1957. I just have a few stories to tell you about what it was like to live on the farm in 1957. I'm not even sure you're going to find them particularly interesting, but I particularly tried to come up with some things that just don't happen today anymore on most farms, and just to give particularly you younger people a glimpse of what life was like on a farm. To sort of set the stage for all this, I think the first thing we need to go over is the fact that my family was a little bit different than some families. No, not in that way. This is an age thing. So, maybe I can show this best in a few photos. So let's take a look at the first one. This photo, I would say, was probably taken around 1935, maybe something around that time frame. Herman, you know, was always the big thinker. Never really talked, but he was the big thinker. So he's always thinking about something. Well, let's take a look at the next photo. Well, here we are again. This photo, I think, was probably taken, I'm going to say roughly 1945, maybe, something like that. It's about when this photo was taken. And let's look at the next one. Well, look at that. Look at that. Yes, indeed. A new son arrived in the Mueller family. And, you know, you might think that the fact that my brothers are about 20 years older than I is the really interesting thing of this photo, but that really isn't the most interesting thing. The most interesting thing is displayed in the photo that was taken 5 seconds later. You see, Herman wasn't really known for touching. In fact, that photo may have been the only time that he actually touched me. Sir, I'll guarantee it was the only time he hugged me. So as you notice, Herman was pretty quick to get rid of little Butch. Well, you know, getting back to 1957, what made that summer sort of unique? There's about 4 different things. And so before I tell you a couple stories about some happenings, I want to sort of lay the groundwork of what made that summer unique. One of the things that was really special was I had my first ever really friend. His name was Mickey Streeper, and Mickey Streeper moved to Ryder that summer, or actually just maybe the year before, but it was that summer when he really became my good friend. And what made Mickey so unique? Well, you know, Mickey's parents owned the grocery store, so he was sort of a man of the streets. He knew how restaurants operated. He knew how to order a good burger. He always hung out in main streets all of his life, which just made him a lot more savvy than I. And I appreciated that. He always had something to show me. His mom went to Minot every week. You know, we went to Minot twice a year. But his mom was always in Minot picking up really cool things for Mickey. That, of course, he would show me, and yes, I was a little jealous. But the cool thing is that Mickey would actually come out to the farm, and I had a playmate on the farm. You know, as you see, growing up as more or less an only child with my brothers long gone, this was really unique for me to have a playmate. True, Kylene came out now and then, my niece Kylene, but she was a year younger. She was a girl, wasn't quite the same. Now I got Mickey there, and there's all these cool things that we can show each other, like young friends do. You know, I mean, I would take him down into the trees, and I would show him a stick that I had found that looked just like a gun, which I thought was really cool. Mickey, of course, would always bring along some photos of naked women from his dad's Stag magazine that he would show me. So it was like a sharing kind of thing that Mickey and I had. And here you see a photo of Mickey Streeper and I taken out by the tree on the east side of the house. Mickey also taught me a little bit about dress. This was the open shirt look that he advocated. I never quite went for the over-the-shoulder part of it, but indeed, because of Mickey, I kept my shirt open as much as I could all summer of 1957.